Hey everyone, welcome to the program WRSA Radio. I am your host, Grenadier One. As always, I hope you guys are all doing good, having a good week. Unfortunately, I am not. It's been a tough week. We had some things going on with the move. Still haven't been able to complete that yet. Weather intervened, and we had a very unfortunate thing happened with an extended family member who passed away very unexpectedly, and that really put the brakes on completing that. So I'm still kind of in between two places right now, and it's honestly getting a little old. But no worries, as you know, this will pass, as all things do, and we will get on with things. And just as I was sitting down to record the show, I actually saw some more bad news for the week. I saw that Jim Bovard had posted that Randy Weaver had passed away today, or at least within the last short time frame. It became known that he had passed away today. Very unfortunate news for that family. We'd want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. That's a family that is no stranger to tragedy and loss, unfortunately. Anyway, I want to get right into the show today because I'm a bit angry about things that have been going on. So this is kind of on the top of my mind right now. This week we have seen an event that I don't think very many people were seriously expecting to happen. Well, let me rephrase that. We saw someone leak information about something that no one seriously expected to happen. I am talking, of course, about the leak from the SCOTUS regarding the case of the Mississippi abortion heartbeat law. This is the case that will overturn Roe v. Wade and allow states to assert authority again and install bans on abortion. In fact, there's many states that have what they've called trigger laws that will go into effect to ban abortion if Roe v. Wade is ever overturned. So that this is coming. There are a couple of items regarding that I want to cover. Firstly, I want to give you my view on the case and just Roe v. Wade in general. I've traditionally been really just ambivalent about abortion. It's just not something I put a lot of thought into. I spent much time really concerning myself with. I don't think it's an argument that anybody was ever really going to solve. It didn't really do much good to have a discussion with anyone, whether they were pro or against, because no one was really going to change their mind in that one little conversation. And I generally do not think that the government should have the power to inflict medical treatments upon you or deny you medical treatments, and that's based off the idea that you have sovereignty over your person. Now, of course, abortion indeed deals with the body and life of another person, so that makes the matter more complicated, and it opens the door for government involvement. And recently, given the absolute madness that we have seen with the left, and mostly due to the information that came forward about the sale of biological material from abortions, I have altered my stance. I've changed my opinion on the matter, and I've come down on the side of this needing to be stopped. Really more taking a more firm position on it. My position on the case was that Roe v. Wade was just very flimsy, with regard to its legal basis, and I felt that it robbed the states of their power, which was right in line with that constant drum of centralizing federal authority. So it was no surprise that it did that. But overturning this case is a massive step in the right direction to return authority under the 10th Amendment to the states to decide for themselves how they want to run things. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that is what this will boil down to in the end. There are going to be states that continue to allow abortion on demand all the way up to the point of birth. And there are going to be others that ban it outright. And if you believe in a representative form of government, then that's how you should expect things to be. That's the way our system is set up. Now, having covered that and gotten that part out of the way, I want to express why I've really shifted my thinking on this as much as I have. To me, what this case really comes down to is that this issue is a linchpin issue for the progressive communist left. This is an issue that they have completely hitched their wagon to and made it a central point of their entire political position. And there are so many people who vote to support them based off of this one single issue, and that makes this such a pivotal aspect of the fight to stop them. What it comes down to is that to stop the communists, we must dismantle the abortion industry in America. It's a primary axis of attack. Now, I don't feel any shame in saying this, by the way. I know that a lot of people stand on this issue primarily on moral grounds, and that's totally fine. I totally get that. I know that part of it is important and something that we should acknowledge, but I'm beyond that at this point. This goes to the larger theme of the show today, so I'll kind of keep hitting on this. At this point, I'm done with looking at things solely through the lens of morality and what is right and wrong. I'm now looking at things through the lens of people getting what they deserve, okay? People seeing the consequences of their actions and being held to account for what they have done. So I'm not opposed to abortion because I attach direct moral implications to it, although those are certainly there. I'm opposed to it because ending it weakens and dismantles the people who should pay the highest price for what they've done to this country for decades. I want them to pay, and I want them to be held accountable, and if that means we have to make men and women account for their reproduction, then so be it. That's the way it has to be. And that's the theme of the show today, holding people accountable for their actions. My biggest fear throughout all of this is that the people who did all of this will come away not only free and clear with their lives and their fortunes intact, but in position to rise to power once again when all the dust settles. And that cannot happen, okay? If we don't accomplish anything, if there's only one thing that we accomplish when all of this is said and done, those people have to be gone. They have to be put in a place or taken out of the picture so that they never come back and haunt us again. Now, I hope you agree with this, because if you do agree with it, then you need to come to a very harsh realization. If you believe that voting is going to fix this, if you believe that we just have to put our trust into the justice system and it will punish the wicked if we just get some right flavor of judge into place, well, brother, I want you to take a trip to D.C. jail and ask to speak to some of those J6 inmates and get them to educate you on what voting and the justice system has in store for you. And to be on topic today, Randy Weaver could probably tell you a little bit about how all that worked out for him. The harsh reality that you need to wrap your head around is that no one is going to do this for us. We must do this for ourselves. This system is now warped against us. And not only does it work to stop us, it actively protects those who are opposed to us. Those street fighters, those street forces that the left puts into play, they don't ever see punishment. They never see a day in jail. Maybe they spend a few hours in jail until some fund bails them out, and then that's it. They're done. You need look no further than this very situation with SCOTUS. Someone on the inside of the court did something that is absolutely forbidden. Not only is it forbidden by law, it's forbidden by custom and decorum. Throughout the long history of the court, it was understood that while you may disagree with the outcome of cases, you do not speak about them, nor do you leak, to the public anything about decisions or any information about the case. You don't leak that to the public. And someone broke both the law and this tradition to leak the contents of this opinion. And we can only guess at their true motives, but the outcome is what it is regardless. The communists are now fully motivated and mobilizing in the streets Again, just in time for another summer of resistance before the midterm elections. It's pretty convenient for them that just before midterm elections, just before the 4-year elections, there'll suddenly be something that causes these riots in the street to try to intimidate voters. I think that's what a large portion of it is. Motivate people to get out and vote for them, or at least provide them the cover to perpetrate their voter fraud. To the larger theme of the show, only the most cursory calls for accountability have been made regarding this leaker. Only a small number of people have been, calling to bring this person to light and expose them and expel them from the court. The commies see this person as, stunning and brave, of course, and the so-called conservatives are just afraid of being called a racist for demanding consequences. It's absolute madness. In fact, we've even seen, some of the most absurd thing coming out of the left-wing media. They're even saying that it was pretty obvious that this was a conservative that had leaked this information to the press. That's just absurd on its face, and we all can see through that. I cannot see that anyone will be held accountable for leaking this information. The investigation, I don't think, is going to go anywhere, and I don't think anyone's going to pay a price for this. On the contrary, I think the focus of the media and the communist ground forces are the justices of the court. And against federal law, and again, against tradition and decorum, the communists have taken to the streets outside of the homes of the so-called conservative justices and began a constant pro-abortion protest. They are attempting to intimidate and influence the outcome of a Supreme Court decision by street tactics. It remains to be seen if this will work, but already we've seen Justice Alito move from his home to an undisclosed location to avoid the protesters. And again, nothing will be done about this. No one will pay any price for this. No state or federal prosecutor will have the protesters arrested and charged under the federal statute that prohibits this kind of protest at the home of a justice. They're going to do nothing. We saw the governor, the so-called Republican governor of Virginia, calling for a exclusion zone around these homes. It remains to be seen if his state police will be able to put that into effect. But it doesn't matter. The point stands. No one will be arrested. No one is going to go to jail for this. No one will be held to account for it. And rest assured that this summer we will see, yet another surge of protesting and rioting. This is a known tactic and practice of the communists by this point. It's successful, and if the left is one thing, they are quick to reinforce success. They will continue to do this until it stops working. Why would they stop? We're even starting to see attacks on anti-abortion clinics or anti-abortion offices, different groups. There's been several attacks, vandalism, destruction of these offices. And again, no one will pay a price for that. No one will go to jail for that. Now, the other big event this week was the release of the video 2,000 Mules from Dinesh D'Souza. This video, by all appearances, shows people committing acts of voter fraud in multiple states for the 2020 election. Delivering handfuls of ballots to these drop boxes and taking photos of these stacks of ballots at this location so that they can get paid. And most of them took place at night, but some of them didn't. Some of them were just in broad daylight, that these people walk up with a handful of ballots, take a picture of them with their cell phone, and then throw the ballots into the dump box. The right has been on fire in chat rooms and social media, blew up all over Gab all week about this movie. And indeed, the movie's already been banned on the usual suspects platforms. I haven't watched the movie yet. I don't really intend to watch it because I don't need to see it. I already know what it shows, and I'm already convinced of the authenticity of what it shows. I don't need to spend the time to watch it unless I just can't find something else, to do late at night in the evening, and I've got a couple of hours. The problem that I have with this is not the film. I'm sure it's well done, and like I said, I don't doubt that it shows what it purports to show. My problem is that, again, people on the right are beside themselves with joy because they think this film is going to amount to something. It's not, okay? This documentary is not going to be anything more than a paycheck for Dinesh, and I don't have any issue with him getting paid or even him fundraising off of this. What I have issue with is that any fundraising will be wrapped in promises by the usual Con Inc. grifters that people will be held to account, that this is all part of the plan, and trust the plan, and we're going to make people pay. And none of that's going to happen. None of that's happening. That is an absolute waste of time. No one is going to jail for these crimes. No court or state is going to overturn the 2020 election and install Trump into office to, fix Sleepy Joe's absolute shit show. That's delusional at best. It's not going to happen. The usual suspects, however, on the conservative gravy train are already out in force shilling for money to fix this and to do something based off of the anger that this documentary is going to build up in people. See, folks, we not only need to hold the communists accountable for what they've done, we have to hold the communist accountable for what they have done. Conning people out of money, conning people out of their emotional attachment, endless talk shows and books and speaking engagements have been inflicted upon patriotic Americans who just want things to go back to the way they were. And all these years, the vision of returning America has shrank and shrank to the point that most red-blooded Americans are willing to accept a big chunk of the commie agenda just to make it stop. Sure, fine, we'll take the gay marriage, we'll take this, we'll take that. Just stop pushing, stop moving left. Well, kids, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until we make it stop. Wes over at NC Renegade put up a piece the other day. It was a good take on this very topic, and so go over and read that piece. It's very, very much tracks with what I'm talking about here. So I'm not the only one that's saying this. I think you need to hear it. I think it's important. We are the solution to this problem. Only people who are willing to step up and put a stop to this can fix this. And you all know what I'm talking about, and what I'm telling you now is that this summer, when things begin to boil over, I think this is the time. I think this is the place, and this is how we end this. And you will see it, and you will know what you need to do when the time comes. I can't stress this enough, that the only way this stops is when we stop it. Now, like my friend Concerned American says, we're screwed. There's going to be a fight. Let's win. Now, that's all I got time for this week, guys. Like and subscribe. Come see us over on Gab and the Mothership. And drop in over at NC Renegade every once in a while, too, and check out their page. They do some good stuff over there. They post some good stuff, so go check them out as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.